if I got to do that if I got to sell my soul, or if I got to do this to get bigger, I'm just not that dude. And I don't have anything against other brothers that did it. If you notice, I'm not bringing up no names because I know they all did it for their reasons. That's just not my style. That's just not something I'm doing. That it was about to be the end of the Jamie Foxx show. You get what I'm saying? Because the same thing, it's a good problem that he had in his life. Because the problem he had was the same problem that Will had.
You being around Diddy back then, you know anything about, his relationship with Jamie Foxx?
Yo, the relationship Diddy had with Jamie Foxx, well, I met Jamie Foxx on the tour bus. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, we was at, oh my God, it slipped my mind where we was at, but they was on some friendship stuff, and it was a tour bus, and Puff was in the back, and there was a lot of girls in the front, and Jamie was just real touchy-feely.
People were expecting humorous Hollywood tales from Alex Thomas when he sat down for an interview. Not this. Because Alex ended up sharing the truth about his falling out with Jamie Foxx instead of the customary jokes and behind-the-scenes laughter. It wasn't attractive either. The Jamie Foxx show was where it all began. That job was a dream come true for Alex. It didn't even feel like work, he claimed. Every day was like going to a comedy club with all of your closest friends. Everyone on set was already familiar to him. Marcus King, Bentley Evans, the producer, and Jamie's manager. They weren't strangers. They were related.
I knew Jamie from the days of when he was on In Living Color. I was one of those, put it this way, I was with Jamie the night he got out of valet, out of his, I want to say it was a 1988 240 ZX, got out in valet to walk in to audition for In Living Color. I was there the night when he did 5 minutes and got a standing ovation, and the next day he was a member of In Living Color. So I was kind of there from the beginning of the journey with him. I like to tell people, I was there from his $1,500 a month apartment to his $27 million mansion. And I'm so proud of him because he's one of those dudes that never forgot where he came from. We always stayed close. We stayed tight. It was like working with your friend every episode. You gotta understand, it's the similarities between the Jamie Foxx show and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I wasn't on the Jamie Foxx show at the beginning. It was the last 2 or 3 seasons, 4 seasons, something like that. And it was incredible. A lot of people say, hey man, they didn't even really start watching as much until all of us came in Jingles 2000. You know what I mean? Me, Miles, Curtis, all the guys, you know what I mean? So it was his homies. And we literally just had fun every episode.
However, the repercussions followed. According to Alex, everything took place at the conclusion of the Jamie Foxx program. Rumors that the program was coming to an end had reached the cast. Everyone knew that Jamie was going to make the same transition from sitcom star to full-fledged movie star that Will Smith did while the last few episodes were being filmed.
Falling out with me and Jamie, it was one of the weirdest situations of my career. It was like my first real dilemma of, oh my God, what am I gonna do? This is a blessing, but another blessing just happened to come on the phone. You know what I mean? So long story short, it was the end of the Jamie Foxx show. Like, we got wind that this is about to be the last episode or few episodes. So in a nutshell, I was a regular on the Jamie Foxx show, right? And I forgot, I stopped counting how many episodes I was on, but there were some huge episodes that I was on. And I want to say I got the call from Dr. Dre maybe with 2 episodes left. But we knew that it was about to be the end of the Jamie Foxx show. You get what I'm saying? Because the same thing, it's a good problem that he had in his life. Because the problem he had was the same problem that Will had. Okay, you have become so big now that it's now time for you to be a movie star. So exact same thing what happened with Will Smith, and I was there. I got to see it. I was sitting in the dressing room when they walked in the script for Independence Day for Will. You get what I'm saying? Like, this dude's about to go from here, right, to out of here. You know what I mean? And that's why Cut to Independence Day ended up being one of the biggest movies of all time at that time. That dude was literally ready to become a super box office star. It was time for him to move up. You know, it's almost like in comedy where you go from clubs to auditoriums to theaters to arenas to stadiums. It was like that for them. So in Jamie's case, it was basically the end of the show.
Alex received the call that would alter everything at that point. Suddenly, Dr. Dre, yes, that Dr. Dre, called and announced, "I'm going on tour. You should host it, please." Despite his confusion, Alex accepted it.
He goes, "I want to do something that had never been done before." And I was like, "What is that?" He's like, "I want a comedian to host a huge hip hop tour. It's going to be the biggest tour of all time." And I was like, "Oh, really? Who's going to be on it?" He's like, "Man, Ice Cube, you know, NWA, you know, there'll be Snoop Dogg, the East Siders, you know, Warren G, Dub C, and the new kid, his name is Eminem." And I'm like, Eminem was fresh, brand new, but blowing the hell up. I'm like, "Oh, this sounds like it's gonna be huge." He's like, "Man, 30,000 seats, every single city in America. I want you to host this." I was like, "Okay, so when are you starting?" He's like, "Thursday." I was like, "Thursday?" Thursday? He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I'm on a TV show, Dre." He's like, he just cut straight to it. He's like, "How much that paying you? What you getting paid a week?" And at that time, the Jamie Foxx show was big for me. I was getting $5,000 an episode, right? For a young up and coming dude, this is, you know, 20 something years, 25 years ago. I'm like, "I gotta get it." He's like, "I'll double this." I was like, "So what time am I going on stage Thursday? How long is the drive? Where is the first city?" And the first city was Chula Vista. I'll never forget. Chula Vista, San Diego. And now I have a dilemma. And my dilemma is, the bottom line is, no concert on the planet is bigger than any TV show. All right? I don't care how big your concert is. TV show hits whatever. Hundreds of millions of people all over the world. You get what I'm saying? But I had to weigh it out, man. 2 more weeks of $5,000, or damn near make a $500,000, $300,000-$400,000, the most I've ever made in my life on a 40-city tour around America. You do the...
Everything between him and Jamie began to fall apart when he accepted the gig. Everyone on set was startled when Alex abruptly quit the Jamie Foxx show to join the Up and Smoke tour. It appeared to many that he left the performance just before it ended. However, Alex saw it as a once-in-a-lifetime chance. He claimed his life was transformed by the tour. It was his highest earnings to date. It brought him his first home and even a part in the film The Washington. However, Jamie Foxx was not amused.
I went out there, killed it on stage in front of 30,000 people. He's like, "You ain't even got an audition. You got to roll." So not only was it the most money I'd ever made doing stand-up on a rock star level, but now I got a movie out of it and I bought a brand new house. Jamie was upset, like, you know, because I became really a part of the Jamie Foxx show. But he ended up...
It was an odd time in his career, Alex acknowledged. His first big conundrum was that, while he respected Jamie, he also needed to think like a businessman. And the decision was clear when it came down to 2 more episodes or a tour that would change one's career. Jamie didn't see it that way, though. Not initially. Alex claims that their relationship became tight, and the subsequent events only made it worse. Jamie Foxx unexpectedly came up at around the tour's 25th stop. He'd heard that Alex was making more money than ever, that he was hosting the largest hip-hop tour in America, and that his name was beginning to make waves on its own. And Jamie was taken aback when he witnessed it firsthand. 30,000 people yelling while Alex controlled the stage.
30,000 people. I ripped the roof off that joint, and he was proud of me. He's like, "Hey man, you stood up, you had to do what you had to do." You know what I mean? And basically that was squashed. It never came to like F you or F you and I don't like you, you ain't. No, it was a business move I had to make. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've never told anybody this. I believe that if I was a part of the Jamie Foxx show from the beginning, and we were like had guaranteed 4 more seasons on the WB, I would have said no. I would have had to respectfully say no to Dr. Dre, right? Because TV's bigger than me going anywhere live. You get what I'm saying? But things happen for a reason. Ended up being the biggest tour in hip hop history. And at that time, it was the biggest DVD in hip hop history. I did something that had never been done. No comedian was going on stage in front of 30,000 people every night. You understand? The most I had went up in front of was when I would open up for Damon Wayans or Mark Curry or Jamie Foxx back in the day, 5,000. 5,000 was a great sellout for any comedian in the 90s. But for me to go from 5,000 people to 30,000 people, do you understand how huge that was? And then you got to understand, I tell people like this, I'm the only one on the show every single night in every city in America that the people did not come to see. My name wasn't on the bill. You saw Eminem, you saw Dr. Dre, you saw Snoop, you saw Ice Cube, you saw Warren G, you saw the East Siders, you saw Mac 10. They didn't put me on the billing, but it was a great surprise to the audience, because even Dre and Snoop came up to me one night and they were like, cuz, you killing it, cuz. Like, they know you, cuz. I was like, no, I got a little stardom myself.
According to Alex, the tension between them changed completely even though it didn't escalate into a full-fledged brawl. Things were never the same after that. Jamie used to be his big brother, but now he treated him like a rival. That was the part that hurt for Alex. He had admired Jamie, backed him during his ascent, and been there in living color ever since. But all it took for Jamie to turn against him was one career move. Alex never openly disparaged Jamie during interviews, but it was clear that they were frustrated. It was one of the strangest things he had ever experienced in his professional life. That time when opportunity and loyalty collided. He claimed that he would have continued if the show had been assured of future seasons, but it wasn't. And every show in Hollywood has a conclusion. Alex said, "You're only as good as your next gig." Fans, however, were unable to overlook how this narrative presented Jamie Foxx in a different light. It seemed to some that Jamie couldn't tolerate another member of his social group shining without him. Others saw it as confirmation of what many insiders had been whispering for years. Despite his talent, Jamie Foxx doesn't always behave well when the focus moves. Gene Deal has also confirmed this, stating that Jamie Foxx isn't who he seems to be, especially in light of his close association with Diddy.
Around Diddy back then, you know anything about, his relationship with Jamie Foxx?
Yo, the relationship Diddy had with Jamie Foxx, well, I met Jamie Foxx on the tour bus. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, we was at, oh my God, it slipped my mind where we was at, but they was on some friendship stuff, and it was a tour bus, and Puff was in the back, and there was a lot of girls in the front, and Jamie was just real touchy-feely, but Puff didn't come out the back. I don't know if Puff came out the back of the tour bus. You understand? And Jamie went back there for a minute or so, then he just came out, and he was all touchy-feely with the girls, and I'm looking at this dude like, wow, kind of like touchy-feely with these girls, and he don't even know them. They know him because he's Jamie Foxx, but he didn't know them, so I don't really know their real relationship or how close they was. I didn't meet Jamie Foxx and really have a conversation with him until I was at his house and I was with Scott Storch. So I don't know how close they was and how close they wasn't. But when I met and I had a conversation with Jamie Foxx, it was about, he was talking about people coming out there to California in show business, and the rappers and the singers and stuff like that, and they get connected with the gang members, and the gang members have a whole different ideology. And he was telling us that people mess up when they get with the gang members because their ideology and what they want out of them is totally what they looking for, whether you use them for security or whatever. And then this time we was at his house and Scott Storch was doing some beats and doing some music for him. and I was playing pool, and the dude told me, he said, yo, I was playing Jamie Foxx and stuff. And he said, yo, let me just tell you something. If you beat him, especially on his table, and I wasn't no hell of a pool player. I was damn good. I was good, but I wasn't no hell of a pool player. I'm sitting up there playing. The dude said, yo, man, if you beat him, you gonna have to beat him all night. Or he ain't gonna let you go home. I said, what do you mean he ain't gonna let me go?
Yes, it is correct. According to Gene Deal, if Jamie developed feelings for him, he would invite him to stay the night. After spending the entire day outside, Scott declared that I had won when I scratched on the 8-ball. Good, I replied. Okay. On the 8-ball, I made scratches. I intentionally did that __ so we could go. However, I'm interested in learning the whole tale of his relationship with Diddy and whether he actually stated in this show that he poisoned him or that he was the cause of Diddy's illness that evening. I'd like to hear that for myself, but I'm not sure if it's true, even if I know it's popular online. Other than the fact that he was cool enough to board the tour bus, load up the girls, go to the back room and hang out with Diddy, then exit, load up the girls, and depart, I don't know anything about their relationship. All I know is that. You also mentioned that he and Diddy were treating women rudely. No, Jamie Foxx boarded the tour bus as if it were his own, and Diddy already had a woman in the back. I am aware that he spoke with Puff prior to boarding the tour bus. Do you get what I'm saying? He wouldn't have boarded the tour bus if he hadn't had that chat with him. Therefore, I know he had won. If he hadn't talked to him, he wouldn't have been able to get to the back.
And me and Scott had been out all day, so I scratched on the 8-ball, and he called that a win. So I said, good. All right, I scratched on the 8-ball. I did that shit on purpose so we could leave. But him and Diddy relationship, and I see what they saying about what happened, and I really want to hear the full story about what's going on with him and Diddy, and if he really said, and it showed that Diddy, poisoned him, or he's the reason why he got sick that night. I want to hear that for myself, but I know it's trending on the internet, but I don't know how true it is. I don't know their relationship as far as other than he was cool enough to get on the tour bus, fill up the girls and go to the back room and chill with Diddy, then come out, fill up the girls and leave. That's all I know.
And you said him and Diddy was being touchy with the females?
No, he was. Diddy already had some female in the back in the tour bus, and Jamie Foxx got on the bus like he owned it, like it was his. So I know he had a conversation with Puff before he got on the tour bus. You understand what I'm saying? I know he had a conversation because he wouldn't have got on the tour bus unless he had that conversation with him. He wouldn't have been able to go to the back unless he had a conversation with him.
Although Alex Thomas didn't intend to reveal that aspect of Jamie, it went viral and many individuals came out to discuss how Jamie was secretly gay as a result of Hollywood's abuse and control over him. It appears that the truth is beginning to become much more apparent after years of conjecture. Introduction 9. However, the pushback was swift. He was questioned by his agency about why black males were so homophobic, as if it were a matter of hatred. Actually, according to Alex, it was about culture and image. You become a black man for all time when you adopt a particular role. You're no longer acting, he clarified. They perceive you as such. He cited Fresh Prince's Alfonso Rivero, better known as Carlton, as the ideal illustration.
What I think about the gay rumors is that's Hollywood, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how they get to the top. I've said it 1,000 times, man. The people that indulge and make that type of behavior common, like they don't have a problem with it. Putting on the dresses, you understand? Acting as if they a woman, taking those type of roles. When they show those people that they are capable of doing that, they are capable of doing anything. And that's how they get their rise into their fame.
Although it was humorous, there was a serious undertone to the joke. How easy a single role may become your identity in Hollywood, particularly if you're black. Additionally, Alex declined the position even after learning that it came with a 6-figure salary. If you lose yourself, money is meaningless. He stated, integrity don't come with a price tag. people were reminded of Jamie Foxx, another Hollywood survivor who couldn't resist playing the game when he turned down a dream check for a boundary.
You offer the gay room?
Wow, that's crazy you asked that. That actually happened to me right after we came out of COVID. And I'd always heard about this. You know, you always hear about, you know, in Black Hollywood, you ain't made it until you either play a gay role or you get offered a gay role. And I'm like, oh my God, it has finally happened to me. So I get a call from my agent one day, and he was just like, Alex, a huge offer just came across my desk. Huge movie, a lot of money, huge director, and I just had to run it by you. I was like, cool, so what is it? He's like, well, I do want to just let you know up front, it's a gay role. And before I even get into it, would you play a gay role? And I told him respectfully, no. You know, just nothing against gay people. I have gay friends, gay family. I know gay people, but just personally, that's just not something I'm trying to do. You know, I have 2 young Black sons, and I'm their example, and that's just not something I want to do, right? He goes, respectfully. He goes, but can I ask you a personal question? I said, yeah, no problem. He said, what is it about Black men or the Black culture? Why are you guys so homophobic? And I'm like, well, I can't speak on behalf of everybody else. I'm just speaking on behalf of myself. It's not something I want to do as a Black man with 2 young Black sons. You know what I mean? And a beautiful wife and a daughter. That's just not something I want to portray.
Alex's story resonates because there are 10 celebrities who didn't make it out clean for everyone that did. He didn't recoil when Alex Thomas mentioned the casting couch.
Constantly engaged to come and party with Jamie because everyone knows he likes transgender women. He went after my Gigi. Want to know when we met? All up together when they met my Gigi?
Go ahead.
At a party at Park. It was the 2nd inauguration for the Obamas, and I was there as a guest at the party, like I was at the first inauguration. And I brought Gigi with me. And Jamie had his eye on her. And Breon asked me if it was cool. And I said, everybody here is grown. Gigi was quite catnip. I mean, if you look at her, she's amazing. But I never let her fake it. I never let her pretend to be a woman. But I always insisted that she behaved like one. The transgender girls that I took care of and I looked after who were in the business or worked with the business or clientele in the business, I always demanded that they think highly of themselves. They had keys to my house, so on the nights where they couldn't go home and they didn't trick enough money, they didn't have to keep tricking, you know. Come to the house. Food will be on the stove. Don't die tonight. Because a lot of them end up in dumpsters. So yeah.
Then he gave a more profound explanation. In Hollywood, weak men and women are put to the test. To find out how much you want it, they will put you to the test. It's a trap for those who give in. Yes, some people succeed by sleeping their way to the top, but this is never sustained. Alex remarked, you might make it for a minute, but you'll get used, run through, and replaced. Occurs each and every time.
Do you believe in a casting coach?
I've heard all about it. I've been on, I couldn't even lie to you, thousands of casting couches, because that's just part of being in this business. Oh, and yes, it's real. But I think the thing that saved me is because I'm a real LA dude first. That counts for a lot. You gotta understand, I'm in a business where 95% of all my peers came from other places. Let's just stick with comedy. So many dudes, I don't have to mention their names, you know them all. They all came from other cities to come to Hollywood to get rich and famous. I always like to say, they flew here, I grew here. You understand? So my set of morals and where I came from kind of shifted and applied to when I got to Hollywood. Like a question I get a lot is, how you been in Hollywood all these years and never get caught up in the whole drugs and alcohol and all that crazy stuff, right? Simple answer, man. I had people that overdosed in my family. I grew up in South Central LA. I saw how cocaine was killing families and you know, whole households, and I had it in my family. I had people that overdose. The last thing I'm gonna do is when I got to Hollywood, do some that could kill me. Fonzo Ribeiro, Carlton, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. One of the greatest roles in TV history, right? Made millions and millions of dollars off this role. One of the most famous actors in the world off that one character, right? But black folks, he is Carlton to the day he dies. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Facts.
So I'm gonna give you the example of what I'm talking about. So as far as Alfonso Ribeiro, we all know Alfonso Ribeiro could be in the next Avatar movie. No, Alfonso Ribeiro could be in the next Black Panther. And you know what black folks will say, right? Black folks will be like, you see that Carlton in the new Black Panther movie? Yeah, Carlton done went from Bel-Air to Wakanda. Boy, that boy Carlton, he cold-blooded, right? And I say, it just be my luck, Art, that I say yes, and I agree to do Brokeback Mountain 3. And now I'm just known to the whole black world as the gay black cowboy that got a train pulled on him up in the mountains by the Indians. Now I'm just known as Raheem, you know? And now I got to deal with, I'm out in public with my two sons, black folks coming up to me like, oh, hey T, here go Raheem. Hey Raheem, hey, you killed it in that movie, bro. Hey man, them Indians blew your back out up in them hills. But they tore your ass out the frame, bro.
And the way things have worked out for black artists in Hollywood in general, including Jamie Foxx, is really depressing. Do you believe that they are the target of an agenda? Tell us in the comments.
Just get ran up and ran through. Because I've seen a lot of girls go that route. You know what I mean? Those chicks end up just getting over. Same thing with the dudes. And over. So, it all depends on, what route you're trying to go. A lot of people say that's probably why it took me so long. A lot of people say, man, maybe you would have been bigger if you hadn't went that route. Oh, well, I don't know, because I didn't go that route, and I never will. So I don't feel bad about that. You know what I mean? I like having my integrity. I like being able to sleep at night and like, hey, God has a route and a plan for everybody. You know what I mean? And for the fact that it's over 30 years and I'm still here, fly, fresh, relevant, still in the game, doing what I love to do, never having to have a regular job, that's a blessing in itself.
So selling your soul in Hollywood, that's a real thing, in a sense.
Oh, absolutely. 1,000%. 1,000%. And there's people that are willing to do anything. But see, you got to understand, I'm one of those dudes I was that little dude that even when I wasn't famous, even when I wasn't on TV, even when no one knew my name, I was always that dude that had a mouthpiece. And I know how to make the girls laugh and